unmuted it, and I.
Unmute. Like that. Only pick up when you're speaking. So when it's red, it's red. Okay, I'm going to call our City Council meeting to order. Today is Monday, June 14th. It's 5:30 p.m. My name is Shelley Carlson. I'm the mayor of Moorhead. The Moorhead City Council welcomes public input on issues listed on the agenda or of general community interest, time and council permitting. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. There are 3 opportunities to address the council: public hearings, agenda items, and non-agenda items. If you cannot attend in person, there are 2 options to participate. Send comments to be read during the agenda item, or call 218-299-5001. Comments will be taken by staff, or you may be connected virtually through WebEx. For more information, please visit our council meeting page on cityofmoorhead.com. So could we please get a roll call, Madam Clerk?
Shelley Dahlquist.
Here.
Matthew Gilbertson. Laura Caroon. Heather Niesemeyer. Shelley Carlson.
Yes.
Deb White. Larry Seljevold. Chuck Hendrickson. Steve Lindas.
All right, if everyone can stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Mahli, are there any agenda amendments?
Button. There are none.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right. And number 4 is a consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? I think your mic is not on. So Niesemeyer moved and Linda seconded. All in favor? Any opposed? Consent agenda passes. Moving on to recognitions and presentations. Our first presentation is going to be by Lakes and Prairie Community Action Partnership, the Executive Director, Lori Schwartz. Welcome. So nice to see you in person.
Yes, right, yes. We had a good meeting over Zoom some months ago, didn't we? Yes, and thank you so much for inviting me to do this. I would love to do this as often as you like. We have an annual report that we share, I know via mail, but I would be very happy to come and present that at any time too. So again, thanks for having me tonight. I'm just going to put up the PowerPoint.
And I
All
think,
right.
yep, there it is.
Thank you. So yes, I'm Lori Schwartz. I'm the Executive Director for Lakes and Prairies Community Action. I have worked for Community Action for just about 30 years. That sounds crazy when I say it, but I drank the Kool-Aid of Community Action a long time ago, and it's just where I needed to be, and it's where I belong. So you'll see up here the abbreviation or nickname is CAP-LP. Our formal name, yes, it's Lakes and Prairies Community Action. We spent about a year or over a year with our board of directors kind of rebranding, and we had thought very seriously of a name change. And we involved the board, the staff, and at the end of the year, the decision was made we wouldn't formally change our name, but we needed to shorten it. So we're really trying to get people to know us as CAP-LP. And when by CAP-LP, we put the community action part first. Okay. So our mission is to eliminate poverty, empower families, and engage communities. We are part of a national network of over 1,000 community action agencies across the nation. There are 23 community action agencies in Minnesota. We are one of the largest poverty fighting networks in the world. So every 3 years, we start fresh and we do a community assessment. We review the community assessment every single year because we know everything is constantly moving. And we learned that very quickly when the pandemic hit, and we really needed to redo the needs of the community at that time. But generally, we do a brand new community assessment every 3 years. And it identifies the strengths and the needs of the communities that we serve. And our Community Action Agency serves Clay and Wilkin counties. The identified needs are usually pretty close to the same each year, although we work on these needs all the time. But the highest need always is transportation, childcare, education, training, workforce, living wage employment, and affordable housing. So we have 3 main divisions within our Community Action Agency. It's often said that if you've seen one Community Action Agency, you've seen one Community Action Agency, because we all do look a little bit different. So we have our agency divided out into 3 departments, or divisions we call them, and that is our Economic Empowerment Program, our Housing Program, and then our Head Start Program. Most of the time when I visit with people, people are most familiar with Head Start. That's the early childhood program. All of the programs that we have serve to work together in a holistic approach, and especially within the past 5 years, we have been working on a 2-generational model, or a whole family approach, that we have been really very intentional about. And really what that means is all of us together as an agency under the umbrella of CAP-LP, we are working to get people on their feet, help them become self-sufficient, and then keep that momentum going. And we really look at it now with kind of that multi-generational approach. The Economic Empowerment Program has various services and programs underneath it. We have a Career Connect program, it used to be called Workforce, that we partner with M-State and our local United Way for funding. We do a lot of application assistance. Child Care Aware falls under that. Our seniors program, nutrition assistance program, our rural routes for Clay County seniors, Safe Exchange visitation programs, that's Rainbow Bridge, and our homebuyer education, financial fitness, and then our VITA tax site. And under our housing division, we have everything from homeless prevention to homeless outreach, supportive housing programs, and Social Security application assistance. We probably have about, I'm not positive on the number, but I think we have about 30 different funding sources and contracts that fall under our housing division. And then, of course, we have our Head Start program. that provides quality early childhood education experiences from children birth to 5. We actually work beginning with expectant mothers. And there too, we use a very holistic approach. We work promoting children's health, social emotional needs, cognitive development, kind of that, again, that whole gamut that it takes to, raise a healthy child. And then also, we work very closely with the parents. We write partnership agreements with the parents, and they're very, very involved in their child's Head Start experience. Some other kind of miscellaneous services that we do, and we don't do these every single year, but we do, as often as we can, have a mobile food drop that we work with the local food shelves, Great Country Harvest out of Crookston, where we actually bring a truckload of food out, and we will go to more rural Wilkin or rural Clay, and oftentimes the people, and anybody qualifies. If you eat food, you qualify. It's not really that much fun to drive up and get a box of food, so if somebody's doing that, even if they can afford it, we just let that go. But oftentimes, we see so many of our senior population lining up and getting a box of food. And then we do group work camp and home repair projects. We usually do this every 2 years, but of course COVID really put a stopper on that. But we are scheduled to do one next summer, and we're very, very, very excited because we're going to be partnering with Moorhead schools. And we're going to be having the students that come from all across the country from group work camp, they'll be staying at Horizon Middle School, and we partner with them. And so what we'll do is we'll do as many low-income, vulnerable households as we can during that week's time. And again, oftentimes it is the senior population and then individuals with disabilities. A little bit of information from our annual report. We served about 5,200 people this past year. 893 of them were children. About 2,000 were child care providers, and then 355 senior citizens. 899 households maintained housing stability and avoid homelessness through the COVID-19 pandemic. 438 early childhood educators received critical supplies of PPE, the personal protective equipment, to ensure that they could keep serving children safely. And we had over 66,000 pounds of nutritious food that went out to seniors this past year. People often say, well, how can I help? Do you ever need volunteers? And we really do. We always ask for volunteers with our NAPS program, that's the Nutrition Assistance Program, to deliver food to the seniors that aren't mobile, that aren't able to get to the armory. Through COVID, obviously, and right now we're still delivering to all of the homes, and we've been partnering with our United Way to help deliver the food boxes, but that's something we're always looking for help on. We're often moving people in and unfortunately out of apartments and homes, and we can always use help with moving. Often the clients that we're serving don't have a ton of furniture, but at the same time, they usually have some things that they need help moving. So we're always looking for help there. And then our volunteer income tax site, if you love doing taxes or you're great at math, we're always looking for people to volunteer to do taxes. And every hour volunteered at our free tax site saves low-income families an average of $300 that they normally would pay to have their taxes prepared by, a company. And that goes from February to April every year. This is, if anybody's interested, this is on our website. If anybody wants to volunteer dollars, it just goes through. The $25 allows us to create a roadmap to move families from barely surviving to thriving. $40 provides 1 month of transportation so families can get to work. $100 provides scrubs, work boots, and attire. We often run CNA programs and welding programs, and with that, there's equipment and supplies that the individuals need. $500 fully furnishes an apartment, and $1,000 pays for a Career Connect training. And like I said, we partner with M-State, and they provide the education. And that is just our contact information. So any questions?
I would have to say that what your organization does is incredible. The fact that you work with individuals from the dawn of their life to the twilight of their life, and it's a multi-generational, holistic approach. I know my day job, I do a lot of elder justice work, which I know you know, Lori, and I know that the senior programs are just excellent, and it helps those solo seniors and really has helped with isolation and helping with activities of daily living, such as the food programs. So thank you.
Yes, yes, thank
Councilmember
you.
Dahlquist.
Thank you. Thank you, Lori. That was great. Great information to share. I was wondering, in the home repairs, do people in trailer parks qualify for that? Because a lot of times for home repairs, they do not qualify. And also, do you foresee Head Start being where they, well, all of the programs, it would be great if no one ever gets turned away, but do you ever foresee the Head Start being able to let everyone in?
So the first answer is absolutely, yes, we do. We had a group work camp in Moorhead, I can't remember how many years ago, maybe 7, 8 years ago, and most of our time was spent in North Moorhead at the trailer park. We absolutely do trailer homes, and we often do insulation, window repair, building ramps, so that people are able to stay in their home as long as they can. We would often have to do floor repair because, again, and it doesn't, it's harder when you're a senior, but it's just such a dangerous place to live when you have things, you're going to trip in a hole. So we often do things like that. So absolutely, yes. As far as the Head Start program goes, that's been something that has been talked about for so many years with the Office of Head Start, with federally, where all children could receive that same Head Start experience, because it is pretty wonderful. And it would be really nice for all of the children of different economic statuses were together, were mainstreamed together, like often they are once they go to kindergarten. I don't know for sure. They're really, really strict on the eligibility requirements, as far as income and the needs of the child and the needs of the parent, but it is something that's often asked. I'm just not, if I was a betting woman, I would say probably not for quite some time.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? All right. Thank you so much. And yes, we will be inviting you back. It's really good to get an update on all you're doing for the communities of Moorhead, Clay County, and Wilkin County.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to 5B, Proclamation Juneteenth Independence Day. Councilmember White.
Thank you. And Mayor, thank you for the opportunity to read this, but I want to say I'm really appreciative of the opportunity to work on this because a lot of the hard work and the vision is really from Destiny Holiday and Cassie Wiest, and they're with Birthing of a Diamond. And so I just want to make sure that I mentioned them because they've done such a great job with this event in the past. And so thank you for letting me read the proclamation. Whereas President Abraham Lincoln issued the Emancipation Proclamation ending slavery in the United States on January 1st, 1863, and whereas news of the Emancipation Proclamation did not reach the frontier areas of the United States, including Texas and other Southwest states, until June 19th, 1865, when Union soldiers led by Major General Gordon Granger arrived in Galveston, Texas, and shared the news that the Civil War had ended and enslaved people were free. And whereas African Americans who had been enslaved celebrated June 19, 1865, commonly known as Juneteenth Independence Day, as inspiration and encouragement for future generations. And whereas African Americans have continued the tradition of observing Juneteenth Independence Day for more than 150 years, and whereas Juneteenth Independence Day began as a holiday in the state of Texas and is now celebrated in 46 states and the District of Columbia as a day of observance recognizing the emancipation of all enslaved people in the United States. And whereas Juneteenth Independence Day celebrations are held to honor African American freedom while encouraging self-development and respect for all cultures. Now therefore, Shelley Carlson, Mayor of the City of Moorhead, does hereby proclaim June 19th, 2021 as Juneteenth Independence Day. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for all your work with the Human Rights Commission and Destiny Holiday with Birthing of a Diamond for putting that together. I believe the event is this Saturday.
Yes, actually, I was going to say it in my report, but I might as well mention it now. So I hope folks will come to our Moorhead's Juneteenth celebration in Gooseberry Park this Saturday, 10 to 3:30. There'll be music, face painting, speakers, even a couple of the folks up here. We've got some of our city leaders, booths, vendors, and lots of fun. So a great community event. Hope all of you will be there.
Thank you. Moving on to 5C, proclamation of Pollinator Week. Councilmember Lindas. I think your mic is off. Nope.
Push the middle button.
Pollinators are so much easier than technology. Thank you, Mayor Carlson. This is an honor to be able to read this, and like Councilmember White, this is really a culmination of a lot of work of city employees and actually residents of Moorhead. So, whereas pollinator species such as birds and insects are essential partners of farmers and ranchers in producing much of our food supply, and whereas pollination plays a vital role in the health of our national forests and grasslands, which provide forage, fish and wildlife, timber, water, mineral resources, and recreational opportunities, as well as enhanced economic development opportunities for communities, and whereas pollinator species provide significant environmental benefits that are necessary for maintaining healthy, biodiverse ecosystems, and whereas the City of Moorhead is actively revising parkland maintenance practices and implementing natural pollinator-friendly areas, and whereas this week the City of Moorhead joins all residents in recognizing the importance of our pollinators to our environment, economy, and collective well-being. Now therefore, Shelley Carlson, Mayor of the City of Moorhead, does hereby proclaim Monday, June 21st through Sunday, June 27th, 2021 as Moorhead Pollinator Week. In the City of Moorhead, and we urge all citizens to support efforts to care for our trees and woodlands and to support our city's community forestry program, and further, we urge all citizens to commend this observance and promote the well-being of present and future generations. In witness whereof, Mayor Carlson has set her hand and caused the official seal of the City of Moorhead, State of Minnesota to be affixed this 14th day of June, 2021.
Thank you, Councilmember Lindas. And I know that some of you have a much higher level of expertise knowing what to plant for pollinators, so I will be asking for recommendations since I'm not really great at that. Even though I should be, since my grandmother owned a greenhouse. I think I'd have a green thumb, but I don't. Moving on to 5D, proclamation of Lucille Thrasher Day, and turning this over to Councilmember Seljevold. And thank you, Councilmember Seljevold, for letting us know about that esteemed member of our community, and congratulations to Ms. Thrasher's retirement. I hope to someday meet this amazing woman. Right, moving on to approval of the meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the May 24th meeting minutes? I don't think your mic is on, so Niesemeyer moved. Do I have a second? And Councilmember Dahlquist second, and your mic isn't on either. Any comments or questions? I was going to say hearing none, could I get a roll call, but we don't have to do that anymore. So all in favor, please by saying yay.
Aye.
Aye.
Or aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, the meeting minutes pass. Moving on to number 7. Do we have any citizens that wish to address the council? Any citizens wishing to address the council? Right. Seeing none, and I do not believe there's anybody on the phone or WebEx. Okay. Then we will move on to number 9, resolution to approve First Amendment to Master Development Agreement by and between Moorhead EDA and Emory Apartments LLC. And I will turn it over to Mr. LaPointe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor and council members. We've been working on this project for quite some time. Brian Bachman from Enclave is here as well to answer any questions about the project. But we last brought this forward to the council and the EDA in March of this year to finalize our master development agreement for the Emory Apartments project. This is, as a reminder, a 130-unit multifamily housing project that's in the 8th Street, 8th and 94 corridor on the southeast corner. Because we're using a housing TIF in this particular project, there is an affordable housing component to it, which Enclave has certainly implemented and gone above and beyond to implement that within their project itself. Since March, as you can imagine, and as you've seen through trends across the country right now, material prices have skyrocketed to the tune of, in this project, well over $2 million in materials alone. We've been working closely with Brian and the Enclave team, our city manager, as well as our financial consultants and our legal team, and found that we could look at some opportunities to help this project move forward in a positive and meaningful way. With that being said, we are looking to amend the master development agreement to extend the term by an additional 2 years. That means from 16 years to 18 years on the term. What that means from a benefit standpoint to the investor or to the developer is increasing from 2.8 to 3.3, so an approximately $500,000 benefit, which again, well over $2 million in that construction cost. Doesn't certainly make them whole, but it certainly makes the project move forward in this area. Up on the screen, you can see we have a little bit more of a further rendering of what that project will look like if approved here tonight. Enclave is looking to break ground and move on this project as soon as possible. So I'll flip through a couple of the slides. You can see a little bit of the color formation on the apartments itself. We didn't have those. We were black and white the last time we came forward, so a little bit more detail of what the project will look like. And before I bring up Brian to answer any questions, I will say that because this TIF term is extended, that also means the obligation from the developer to the housing TIF and that affordable housing component is withheld there that full duration of the 18 years. So we will see that affordable housing component stay for a longer term within our community. And as a teaser, I'll have Brian kind of mention we will be having coming forward in early July at our first council meeting in July, hopefully, the commercial industrial application for their commercial renovation just to the west of this project. So we do have a couple of renderings that Brian can flip through and kind of give a little bit of a teaser to. But with that, I'll turn it over to Brian to see if I missed anything.
Thanks, Derek. He always makes it really easy for me. It's good. C students need all the help they can get. So yes, this is, okay. This is our the renderings of the new project. We actually moved dirt today, so it's actually officially started. Derek is correct. This year has been extremely challenging from a materials standpoint, whether it's just getting them, period, and then the costs. This project, from the first day we got our bids in, which were way too high, we spent 3 weeks trying to value engineer it to try to find ways to save money. And what we found in those 21 days that we spent, that we found like $300,000 trying to fix it, it went up by $800,000. It was going $856. It was almost $30,000 a day that lumber prices just keep going up. And they continue to just hover at ridiculously high rates. So haven't quite figured out how to plant more trees faster, but if we could, we would. So we do appreciate that Dan and Derek worked with us just to try to help us with basically trying to find anything that we can do to try to help lessen the load a little bit on that. So on this part there, oh, wrong way. There's some exterior shots of the retail space. The plan is to start working on a remodel for this this summer. We're actually get our final plans next Tuesday. Then we will go out for bid on that. We do have a couple of tenants that are at the LOI stage for the space between Murphy's and CVS. We have our first LOI on the space that will be on the far south end. The plan there will be to take 20,000 square feet off of that old building that was there to add more parking so that we have a better parking ratio for the whole project. Other than that, open to any questions anybody might have.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bachman. We're investing in Moorhead, first of all, but for this really innovative project, I think it's just incredible the amount of work that went into creating this TIF housing project. So thank you for that. Any questions or comments from the council?
On that point, if I can, want to say how impressed we've been, how great it's been to work with Derek and Dan and the whole team over here. Everybody's been amazingly supportive, amazingly creative, which was really what was necessary to try to piece this whole thing together. And we really appreciate all the help they've given.
I appreciate hearing that. And that's what I've been hearing from a lot of developers, is that we have very creative teams and very, I think City Manager Mahli often says, we find alternatives. What is your phrase that you always say?
Alternatives rather than obstacles.
Yes, alternatives rather than obstacles, and I think that really is a mantra that the staff at the city also adheres to. So thank you for your leadership on that, Manager Mahli. Councilmember Niesmeyer. Thank you, Councilmember Niesmeyer. Anyone else? All right, hearing none. Thank you so much. And Mr. Lapointe, did you have anything else to add?
I'll just state that we did bring this forward to EDA. EDA has to review this as well, and it was unanimously approved by the EDA as well. And I would just echo the testament here tonight that we do appreciate Enclave for their willingness to work within our community, so we thank them.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Lapointe. All right, do I have a motion for the resolution to approve the First Amendment to the Master Development Agreement?
So moved.
Linda.
Deb White.
Linda,
Do I have a
second.
second? Okay, I have like 3 seconds, so I think I'm gonna over here. Okay, so we have Councilmember White and then Councilmember Lindas for a second. And is this one, see, now I'm not sure which ones I have to do roll call for and which ones I don't. This one I can just ask for. Okay. So all in favor, please by saying yes.
Aye.
Aye. I got to figure this one out too. I got the roll call thing down. Now I got to learn this one. Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Resolution passes. Thank you so much, Mr. Lapointe and Mr. Bachman. Moving on to number 10, resolution to approve credit level for the 2021 Border City Enterprise Zone Program. And back to you again, Mr. Lapointe.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I think I might be the only show in town tonight here for presentations for you. So this program here before you tonight, for some of the council members that are new, this is a part of our Border Cities Enterprise Zone Program, our credits that we receive from the state on a yearly basis. In 2019, the legislative session did support a unanimous no sunset appropriation to our community and the other border city communities. That's approximately about $520,000 that we get on a yearly basis now. Historically, this funding has been used in a variety of different ways. Most recently, and probably historically, has been used for workers' compensation and the rebate program that exists. There's also employee credits that are used within this program for certain uses, healthcare being one of them, health-related services, and some other ones as well. It was really hard, I'll just say in general. Amy Thorpe, who isn't here tonight, but Amy Thorpe, the program administrator for the city, she pretty much runs this program single-handedly. There's a lot of reporting. There's a lot of back and forth with the state on what can and cannot be done with the funds. But she's done a fantastic job of doing outreach and getting as many businesses to take advantage of this credit that's available and this program that's available for workers' compensation, to the tune of this past year, especially when so many businesses were struggling through COVID. We were taking the list of those that were applying for grants, cross-referencing that with our Border Cities Enterprise Zone Fund list. And she made sure that all those individuals that may qualify for that particular program would ultimately be sent a letter to apply for this position. So we're very grateful to Amy and her time to do the outreach that she has done over the last number of years during the program, but certainly through last year and through COVID. I'll note that the program itself, just in the last year in 2020, there was a little over $400,000 that was rebated to 127 businesses in Moorhead. So that's a significant amount of dollars that went back into our community. The program is it's a credit level that was at 25% of the audited workers' compensation expense, and that was capped at $30,000 per applicant. So you can imagine we have some large and small businesses. There's a variation of how much rebate businesses do receive in our community. We are looking to authorize this same program for the following year. So that's what we are looking for here tonight. But I will note that there has been significant conversation over the last couple of years about expanding to this program, looking at things a little bit differently, seeing if we can use some of that remaining dollars towards other targeted industries that we're trying to capture here in Moorhead or support, looking at other border city disparities that exist and how we can help financially within that. So what we are hopeful and looking to do is our next EDA meeting is on June 28th. It's a quick turnaround from our previous meeting because of the holiday. We are looking to have a workshop to talk to our EDA members, look at other programs, other industries that we should be focusing on. So that's our goal, is to continue to review this program, making sure that we're not missing anybody, and look to expand if possible. But tonight we are just looking to approve what is on the books from the previous years and keep that workers' compensation program with the housing with health-related services on the books. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lapointe. Any comments or questions of Mr. Lapointe? All right, seeing none, could I get a motion to approve the credit level for the 2021 Border City Enterprise Program?
Deb White moves to approve.
Okay, do I have a second?
Niesmeyer, second.
I heard Councilmember Seljevold, so Seljevold. Have a motion and a second. Any further comments or questions? Seeing and hearing none. All in favor, please by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Thank you. All right. Moving on to mayor and council reports. Do I have any council members who have a report? Councilmember White.
Mayor, I just had two things I wanted to mention. One is since our last council meeting, we had another great Reforest the Red event. And I wanted to thank River Keepers and our forestry staff for the work that they did in planning this, and all the volunteers who came out and planted hundreds of trees along the Red River on a very hot day, and still showed up and got a lot of great work done. And it will be wonderful to see as those trees start to develop in that area. And then I wanted to mention that this Saturday, I was fortunate to be able to take the opportunity to join my other members of the Moorhead Human Rights Commission and some other volunteers to clean up 20th Street in Moorhead. And the thanks for that goes to our staff member, Joshua Huffman. So he was the one who put everything together, did all the legwork, and came in on his day off to join us in cleaning up 20th Street, and brought his kids along. So if you can get two teenagers to show up on a Saturday and do service work with you too, then you must be doing something right. So it was great to be able to do that. And again, I just want to especially thank Josh for his great work.
Right, thank you. Any other council members who have reports? Oh, okay. For a mayor report, I have a few things. Just want to congratulate the Home Builders Association. We were at a ribbon cutting for their remodel, which was an incredible building over in Fargo, but got the opportunity to brag about the great incentive programs that we have here in Moorhead for individuals that are building new homes. And also for individuals remodeling some of the older homes in our community. Also had a chance to meet with the Liberian delegates from the capital of Monrovia. It was very interesting. One of the biggest things that they wanted to visit with us about was our garbage pickup. They have an issue in Monrovia and in Liberia in general about just simply picking up garbage, and our clean water was also something that they were very interested in, along with our public safety. So it was quite an eye-opening experience, and I know that one of the things that the group, after the Liberians left, one of the things that we discussed was the importance of just basic city work that we do here. We have clean water, your toilets get to flush, your garbage gets picked up, our streets are good. And when they're not good, we're repaving them and redoing them. So really grateful to live in the community that we live in. Was also able to participate in the Faith Build wall raising, and want to welcome the Castile family to Moorhead. It's another wonderful Habitat for Humanity house that is being built in Moorhead, with a single mom who has 4 children, one of them who is in a wheelchair and is going to have a wheelchair accessible house now to live in, a place actually to call home. Also went to the Fargo Elam groundbreaking, which might seem odd for the Moorhead mayor to go to Fargo, but Elam invited me to attend because when they had the fire last year, we were actually, Eventide actually was able to place 30-plus older individuals into the Eventide here in Moorhead after that fire in Fargo at Elam Lutheran Church. So they are Elam Assisted Living and Nursing Home. So thank you to them for the invitation to also brag a little bit about what great community partners we have here in Moorhead. And neither one of the Ward 3 council members mentioned the really fantastic Meet the Mayor and council members that happened last week. They had, I think, 14 people in attendance. It was, over 20. Okay, so people were kind of coming and going, so I didn't get an accurate count, but it was, we actually stayed an hour and a half, way beyond. Yeah, yes, it was a record number. So Ward 4, we'll have to see what you guys do. And then this Friday is a really huge event for the Diversion Authority. We have a WIFIA loan signing. WIFIA is Water Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act. And also, we will be awarding the P3 project, which is the public-private partnership. And this is huge significance for the diversion project, and kudos go out to City Attorney Shockley, who is also the attorney for the Diversion Authority, for his endless hours. I'm not sure that he's gotten much sleep, and I can't imagine how his head must work for all the legal work he has been doing on this. So great thanks to you, Mr. Shockley, for all this work and for the community of not just Moorhead, but Moorhead, Fargo, Cass, and Clay County, and this whole area that's affected by this project that is going to now be saved due to having the diversion in place. So thank you to that. And last but not least, we're still doing Cash Mob Moorhead. Our restaurants still need help to recover from COVID. So tomorrow, if you guys could all go to JL Beers or pick up JL Beers or get a gift certificate to JL Beers, that's where Cash Mob Moorhead is tomorrow. All right, thank you. Turning it over to you, City Manager Mahli.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. So as you know, we are welcoming new uses to the MComp Center to offer a vibrant combination of historical and artistic and civic and cultural opportunities for residents and visitors. And so we now have all agreements in place, and we're really excited about what's going to be happening here in the building. These are great partnerships and possibilities that are growing. I believe that with all of my heart. From the Historical and Cultural Center of Clay County to the Moorhead Senior Center to the Chamber of Commerce of Fargo, Moorhead, and West Fargo. River Keepers, which is a really neat and creative outdoor activation partnership around the river corridor, the Fargo Moorhead Community Theater, and then some of these civic activities, these meetings such as this, and boards and commissions, and the utilization of space. And so when we look at the calendar this fall and winter, it is so full. Evenings and on weekends, 3 to 4 weekends a month are booked. So this winter, I know they're planning Frostival events and the like. So it's just starting to bulge, which is fantastic. So, but I wanted to assure folks that the Stav Church and area around the ship is certainly open for weddings and the like. There have been some changes around private events, and to that I just want to recognize that Moorhead really has become a place that leads in spaces where you can have a reception, where performances happen, where gatherings, where meetings can occur. I mean, unlike 20, 30 years ago, it's just incredible. I'll even try to get more than in one hand. River Haven, the Armory, which is opening up, Blue Stem, the Marriott, the Folly. I mean, it goes on, and I know I'm going to miss some, and anyway, that happens. So I just want to recognize all the folks that are helping make, Moorhead a place where interesting and exciting experiences can happen, and where great memories are going to be taking place. And what's neat is that it's leading with the experience first. So more to come. And so with that, I want to just mention that we're also starting to see more ribbon cuttings and groundbreakings and the like. I'll be back in July with kind of a mid-year development report to let you know, I've been using the word accelerate, so hopefully we'll be able to show that we're accelerating, growing the blocks. And so we'll put something together for next month. But in the meantime, we've asked Amy Thorpe, you'll start seeing invitations on your calendars. Amy's our Economic Development Program Administrator. So they're optional invites, just so you know when these groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings are happening, and if you like, or if you're interested or available, if you'd like to stop in and thank folks for investing and growing in Moorhead, that would be fantastic. So you'll see them on your calendar. You're certainly not required to be there, but just want everybody to know. And we're doing that the same with the Economic Development Committee members. And anybody in Moorhead that would like to be on the invite list, you're welcome to reach out. We'll send it to you too. So thank you.
Thank you, City Manager Mahli. It is very exciting times here in Moorhead, for sure. We do not have an executive session listed on the agenda. I'm going to move on. Do we have any new business? Any new business? None? Okay. And do we have any citizens that wish to address the council? Are there any on the phone or on WebEx? None? Okay. All right. Well, then I am going to end our meeting, and I think this is a record. We actually ended in under an hour. So congratulations to us and all the great things that we were able to accomplish in less than an hour. Have a great night, Moorhead.